One of the considerations with creating a learning strategy is where your training materials are going to come from. So you might have some internal capabilities, which means you can design things internally, or you might realize we don't have a lot of internal capabilities. So while that's one continua that you can consider. The other thing to consider is the content and if it's specific to your organization or if it's fairly generic content. So if you create those in kind of a four-box model, you have different options available to you. So if we go around my imaginary box, so if you have internal capabilities and if the content is specific to the organization, then you're going to want to design it internally. You're going to want to have internal subject matter experts and designers work on that material for you. If the content is specific to the organization, but you don't have those designers, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to outsource that design and think about who maintains that intellectual property, who has the rights for that design. If you're outsourcing and it's specific to your organization, then I think you would probably want to retain the IP for that. So you would hire a designer and then purchase the rights to what they design. Conversely, if the content isn't specific to your organization, but you still don't have that internal capabilities, what you can do then is purchase off-the-shelf products. So you could consider, Harvard Managed Mentor or other materials that are out there that are kind of generic leadership or generic, how do I give feedback or, sales models, things like that. So then you would not own the IP and you would have licensing per person that you would need to pay. So my last box is over here, and that's content that is not specific to the organization, but you do have internal resources that could develop it. So then you can have them create those training materials for you. The difference is with generic content versus specific is the work effort involved for those internal resources to create it. So if it's generic content, I always like to curate as much as possible. So find what's already out there. Look on TEDx, look on YouTube, find videos, find articles, pull together. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So if it's generic content, that's the work effort that your internal designers are going to have versus where I started with my 4 boxes when I'm designing internally and I need to look to work with SMEs, subject matter experts, to define that content with me. Hope that helps in figuring out as part of your learning strategy, thinking through where does my content come from? What do I purchase and what do I develop in-house? I hope that helps.